On June 21, 2025, a massive aerial operation was launched to strike three crucial nuclear facilities in Iran: Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. This operation served as a direct message from the United States to Iran. The Zeva Air Force, responding to Iran's challenge, executed a strategic mission to halt Tehran's uranium enrichment program. This significantly escalated tensions in the Middle East. During the operation, Zeva showcased its unparalleled military prowess, but it also triggered unprecedented political and strategic challenges in the region. Weeks before the operation, the White House Situation Room was transformed into a command center. There, President Donald Trump held continuous meetings with national security advisors. The precise location and structure of the Iranian nuclear facilities were pinpointed using satellite data from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, and information gathered by MQ-9 drones. Striking Fordow, which was buried between 260 and 300 feet under a mountain near Qom, required specialized weaponry. Fordow was the most challenging target. From Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, the U.S. Air Force deployed 6 B-2 Spirit bombers, escorted by 2 Virginia-class submarines in the Persian Gulf. These submarines were armed with Tomahawk missiles to engage the enemy. Trump approved the plan on the evening of June 20th, just hours before the strike, with instructions to maximize target destruction and ensure no American casualties. As the operation commenced, the 6 B-2 Spirit bombers took off from Missouri for a 12-hour journey across the Atlantic to the Middle East. Each B-2 carried GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator bombs, weighing 30,000 pounds each. Simultaneously, the USS Delaware and USS Montana submarines prepared 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles, each with a 1,000-pound warhead and a 1,000-mile range. The targets were divided. Natanz and Isfahan were hit by Tomahawk missiles, while Fordow was struck by the GBU-57. Support forces included EA-18G Growler aircraft for electronic jamming, RQ-4 Global Hawk drones for real-time monitoring, and F-22 Raptor fighters for escort and readiness against any counterattack. The GBU-57 MOP, also known as the Bunker Buster, can penetrate 200 feet of reinforced concrete and explode with a force equivalent to 5 to 4 tons of TNT, with an accuracy of up to 15 feet. It's ideal for destroying underground facilities like Fordow. It's guided by GPS and inertial sensors, hitting targets with high precision from 30 meters away. The Tomahawk missile, using terrain-following navigation and digital scene matching, was perfectly suited to strike the centrifuge plant at Natanz and the fuel storage facility at Isfahan. Flying at 500 mph and maintaining a low altitude to evade defensive radars, each Tomahawk missile costs between $825,000 and $1,650,000. Meticulous calculations were made to determine the attack parameters, minimizing the risk of radioactive leaks. The attack began with the 6 B-2 Spirit bombers, flying at 50,000 feet, entering Iranian airspace from the west. Iran's S-300 air defense systems were effectively blinded by the B-2 stealth technology, which gave off a radar signature the size of a bird. 4 EA-18G Growler aircraft, 30 miles from the B-2 formation, emitted wide-spectrum signals that disrupted enemy radars and communications. The lead B-2 pilot received encrypted orders via AS-256 standard from Central Command, confirming Fordow as the target. As the aircraft approached, B-2 pilot number 1 verified the APQ-81 targeting system. When the jet closed to within 12 miles of Fordow, RQ-4 Global Hawk satellite imagery on the screen showed no activity from the Iranian air defense system. The target was locked. The pilot felt a slight vibration as the weapons bay opened after he pressed the launch button on the touchscreen. GPS and inertial sensors guided the 2 GBU-57 bombs as they fell at 1,000 feet per second. After penetrating 100 feet of rough rock, the bombs detonated with a delayed fuse, creating a shock wave with 557 psi of pressure. A section of Fordow's uranium enrichment chamber was damaged by the explosion, which also shook a 500-meter-long beam. The infrared camera on B-2 number 1 recorded the black smoke from the explosion. Almost immediately after, B-2's number 2, 3, and 4 detonated 6 GBU-57 bombs targeting Fordow's main entrance and 2 smaller tunnels. The launches were executed with high precision, with bombs launched seconds apart to prevent collisions. Beyond destroying reinforced concrete and damaging 40% of the centrifuges, each bomb created a 50-foot deep crater. Strong vibrations were registered by RQ-4 seismic sensors, and debris scattered for hundreds of meters. B-2 pilot number 2 reported a direct hit, heavy smoke, and excellent effectiveness. As flames erupted and engulfed the area, temperatures reached approximately 1,000 degrees Celsius. B-2s number 5 and 6 were directed at Fordow's underground control center and dropped 4 GBU-57 bombs on the facility's server systems and operational rooms. The explosives, designed with a blast radius of up to 164 feet, destroyed 60% of the control equipment, disrupting internal communications. RQ-4 photos showed a 300-foot-long fireball, and the area was covered in thick black smoke. The control center was rendered inoperable after a direct hit from the B-2, confirmed by pilot number 5. Debris, resembling rain, caused seismic activity in the region. At the same time, the USS Delaware and USS Montana submarines emerged from the Persian Gulf at a distance of 50 meters and launched 30 Tomahawk missiles from their vertical launch systems. Soil analysis and satellite imagery showed each missile following a low trajectory, flying at 100 to 160 feet above Iranian territory. This was confirmed by satellite imagery. Isfahan received 12 missiles, and Natanz received 18. The missiles were divided into 2 waves. On the USS John Paul Jones destroyer, the SPY-6 radar was responsible for tracking their course, ensuring complete accuracy. In response to the Tomahawk signals detected by Natanz's S-300 air defense systems, 8 N-6 and S-48 interceptors were launched. 3 missiles were destroyed due to GPS jamming, while 15 missiles continued their flight at 550 Frbsch, according to the RQ-4. The USS Delaware crew received a report. 3 missiles were intercepted, and 15 were still en route. Flying through valleys, the Tomahawks adjusted their trajectories to evade radars and reached Natanz's main centrifuge complex. When the Tomahawks struck Natanz, the first 8 destroyed centrifuge complex number 1, demolishing a 6-foot-thick reinforced concrete roof and creating a 30-foot-wide crater. Additionally, 7 of them hit centrifuge stockpiles, causing collateral explosions as the units ignited. With RQ-4 cameras, the site was covered in thick black smoke, and debris scattered 50 meters away. A total of 2,000 centrifuges were lost, and an estimated 60% of Natanz's equipment was completely destroyed. Analysis of RQ-4 data by B-2 pilot number 3 confirmed that Natanz had been effectively neutralized. For the attack on Isfahan's fuel stockpiles and uranium processing facilities, the Tomahawks split into 3 separate groups. The first group of 5 destroyed 60% of the enriched fuel reserves. This was achieved by causing collateral explosions as 20 containers detonated, creating a 50-meter-long flame. The second group of 4 successfully damaged processing equipment and destroyed a 30-foot deep underground laboratory. The final 3 aircraft disabled the backup power supply, leaving the complex without electricity at the opportune moment. At the site, the RQ-4 recorded temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius, and smoke spread for 2 kilometers, obscuring the target. An unsuccessful attempt was made to activate Iran's Tor M1 air defense system at Fordow, resulting in 12 missiles being launched to intercept the B-2s. Due to EA-18G interference and stealth technology, the missiles failed to detect the target and exploded at high altitude without causing damage. B-2 pilot number 1 reported that enemy defenses were unsuccessful and there was no threat. Residents of Qom, 12 miles away, reported hearing the echoes of the explosions, and debris from the attacks fell nearby, creating the impression of an earthquake. During the launch of 4 50-MR and 6 missiles, the Panzir S-1 radar located near Natanz was able to detect faint B-2 signals. The EA-18G switched to concentrated jamming, causing the missiles to go off course. After receiving a warning from the ALQ-218 system, the B-2 pilots accelerated to Mach 0.9, maintaining a tight formation. The RQ-4 confirmed no missiles nearby, ensuring the squadron's safety. B-2 pilot number 4 reported that enemy missiles were destroyed and the airspace was clear. Within 18 miles, the USS Montana submarine detected acoustic signals from an Iranian Kilo-class submarine. To avoid detection, the American submarine submerged to 650 feet and activated its noise suppression system. Active sonar buoys were deployed by the nearby USS John Paul Jones, causing the Iranian vessel to veer off course. This swift response protected the U.S. Navy. After submerging to 820 feet, the USS Delaware and Montana headed for international waters in the Gulf of Oman to avoid pursuit. The RQ-4 drone detected activity from an S-300 radar near Isfahan. This radar is capable of detecting stealth targets. The EA-18G initiated active jamming, transmitting false signals from 60 miles away. We successfully deceived the Iranian radar, forcing it to change its search route. The B-2 squadron continued its flight unimpeded and exited Iranian airspace at a maximum altitude of Mach 0.85. While transiting Iraqi airspace, the squadron was escorted by 4 F-15E Strike Eagle fighters from Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. The RQ-4 confirmed that Iranian fighters were not pursuing the B-2s. B-2 pilot number 1 sent the final mission complete signal to the command center via the A-Star satellite system. The lead pilot reported that Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan had been struck with no casualties. In response to the message from the Situation Room, Trump announced on Truth Social that all aircraft outside Iranian airspace were no longer in danger. Upon completion of the 35-minute mission, all American military personnel were accounted for and unharmed. During his address to the nation on June 21st, President Trump congratulated the heroic American soldiers who just passed away. "This is something no other army would have gone through," he stated. "For now, peace prevails." More information on Trump's Truth Social. Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan were 3 nuclear sites in Iran that we successfully destroyed. Iranian airspace is completely clear of aircraft. On June 22nd, at 10 p.m., he delivered an address to the nation. According to CNN, citing 3 sources, President Trump expects the attacks to prompt Tehran to resume negotiations and does not intend to take any further military action in Iran. CNN reports that President Trump concluded the U.S. needed to intervene to destroy Iran's fortified nuclear facilities as diplomatic efforts had stalled. The attacks sparked heated debate. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie called the operation unconstitutional, stating that President Trump was disregarding Congress by taking military action abroad. Democratic Representative Sarah Jacobs supported him, warning of the possibility of continued hostilities in the Middle East. However, there were those who supported Trump. Congressman Andy Harris called the operation peace through strength and stated that it successfully eliminated Iran's nuclear capabilities, thereby protecting American lives, friends, and global stability. Stealth, precision, and overwhelming force were the cornerstones of the U.S. plan. Compared to Iranian air defenses, B-2 and Tomahawk technology performed significantly better, and EA-18G intervention provided the element of surprise. Real-time data from RQ-4 drones allowed for quick adjustments to complex flight paths. F-22 Tomahawks deceived S-300 radars, and Raptor fighters were ready to repel any counterattacks that might be launched against them. A coordinated and devastating strike was delivered through the use of high-precision weapons and electronic warfare. The operation inflicted serious damage. Fordow lost 30% of its uranium enrichment capacity, and 2 tunnels and a large hall were destroyed. 60% of Natanz's infrastructure was damaged, and the city lost 2,000 centrifuges. After the destruction, fuel stockpiles and the laboratory in Isfahan were rendered inoperable for 72 hours. Due to Iran's prior evacuation, casualties were limited to 12 technical specialists, not accounting for personnel losses. The operation cost the U.S. $600 million, the GBU-57 cost $495 million, and the Tomahawks cost $165 million. The Iranian military used S-300 systems in Natanz and Isfahan and Tor M1 and Panzir S-1 systems in Fordow. Although they only managed to destroy 3 Tomahawks, Iranian radars were rendered inoperable due to the B-2 stealth and EA-18G jamming. Out of fear of the F-22s, the Iranian Air Force did not scramble. Air defense systems failed to stop the GBU-57s. Residents of Qom reported loud explosions, indicating the ineffectiveness of the interception. Iran's total losses amounted to $13.75 billion. It would take Natanz and Isfahan 18 months to repair the damage. Only 20% of Fordow's capacity remained operational. The Iranian government did not react directly to the attack, but promised commensurate measures through forces like Hezbollah or the Houthis. Iranian media called these actions aggression and demanded international condemnation. An Iranian official stated that the attacked sites had not stored radioactive materials in the past and that Iran's nuclear program would continue despite the delays. According to analysts, Iran's retaliatory capabilities are limited due to recent hostilities with Israel, which led to a reduction in Iran's arsenal and the destruction of important facilities. That concludes today's broadcast. We hope this post provided you with interesting information. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel. This ensures you won't miss any future content. Please leave your feedback in the comments below. See you tomorrow at the same time.